What is up, faithful? It is Dylan Frazier here from the Nothing But Niners crew. We are here to bring you week 3 of State of the Niners. I just want to go ahead and give you a quick warning. I had to step outside of some friend's house for a movie night to do this, so I apologize if you hear any background noise from the movie or from cars driving by. And if there's any problem with hearing me or anything, let me know in the live chat, and I'll do what I can to make it right. But this week, there's not too much to report, honestly. Uh, we've got a long injury list, unfortunately, and you hate to see that, but yeah, it seems like it's been like a season for us in injuries. But before we get into that, I just want to remind you one more time. This is week 3 of our new podcast series called State of the Niners. All it is I'm going to come in for a quick, short video, 15, 20 minutes max normally. And we're just here to tell you a little bit about what's going on with the team in case you missed something throughout the week. All it's going to be is right here. So it should be pretty easy. But before I even start that, I want you to do me a favor and hit subscribe on there. Go follow us on Twitter. Find us on YouTube. Hit subscribe. Easy stuff. If you want, you can hit the notifications button so you'll know every time we're going live, whether it's for this podcast right here to get your weekly update or for the many other podcasts we do. We got a slew of great writers over there doing good things, and we love to bring you the content. So make it easy for us. Find us anywhere you can. But let's go ahead and get started. The offensive side of the ball, unfortunately, Jimmy did finally undergo surgery today. So that's officially it. That kind of feels weird for it to officially be it. But it is way too early to set a timetable on injury or return for him. We'll have to see how the surgery goes, see how his healing process goes. But Jerick McKinnon definitely had some good advice for him on the post-surgery process too. But praying for Jimmy, hope that everything goes well, and we hope to see him back next year. But as for the rest of the team, our did not practice list today consisted of Marquise Goodwin, who is dealing with a quad injury. He's going to be questionable for the game as of right now. Mike McGlinchey is also questionable, dealing with a little bit of knee injury. Dante Pettis is expected to be out this week, and he's going to be week to week going on from here. Weston Richburg is supposed to be questionable, and Joe Staley is questionable. Limited in practice, we had Breida, who's dealing with the shoulder injury. He's expected to play, and Mike Person, who's dealing with some knee injury. And Alfred Morris was a full participant today, so it's good to see him. It's good to see him. At least we have one for sure back. But like I said, Breida is expected to play this week. On some news that we haven't really talked much about, Joshua Garnett has finally returned as a full participant to practice for the first time since all the way back in week 1. We saw a few promising things from Garnett, even though we've struggled to see anything to justify him as the first-round pick that he was. But hopefully he can make his way back in the offense and start making an impact on this team that's dealing with a lot of injuries on that offensive line and on the team as a whole. It'll be nice if he can get in there and bring some stability, I guess. But he's never been the one for stability, I guess. Also on the offense, Victor Bolden has returned after his 4-week suspension. In order for him to play on Sunday, he'll have to be activated by 1 p.m. on Saturday. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. I guess it all depends on how they're feeling with their wide receiver core at the time. If everybody's stepping up, as we know, Richie James has been a healthy scratch for I think all but one game this year, and even in that one game, he didn't see any time. So we'll see what's going on there. One last thing I want to hit on the offense. We're getting a lot in the chat about C.J. Beathard being injured. And if he is, I haven't heard anything about it. So I don't expect him to. As far as I know, and I think I've checked it all out, C.J. Beathard is good to go. And by the way, I feel like we got to give mad props for CJ Beathard. Normally, this podcast isn't about what happens in the games and more of just what's going on in the week. But CJ Beathard played a great game, and I think he played great. CJ Beathard is healthy. I don't know where that rumor's flying around, but let's shut it down. CJ Beathard's good, guys. He should be in there, and hopefully he can play another good game. On the defensive side of the ball, Sherman is dealing with that calf injury. He participated in rehab drills today with Marquise Goodwin. He's not expected to play, but Kyle didn't officially rule him out. I wouldn't expect him. I would just go ahead and assume that he's not playing, but technically he had not been officially ruled out. Jaquiski Tart, who's dealing with the shoulder injury, Adrian Colbert with the hip injury, and Witherspoon with a little bit of ankle, hip injury problem there. They all practiced in full today, and it was great to see that. I mean, if we can get that secondary starting to heal up, we've had a lot of injury problems there as a whole. Hopefully they can get back to playing some good football sometime soon. Also on that defense, I wanted to note that Eric Armstead led the defense in pressures last week. So it'll be nice to see him finally making his way back to being a force in this defense. And I really hope that he can start being that first-round pick that we wanted him to be too. A few things that I wanted to bring up because, as you can tell, there wasn't much going on this week. There was no signings. I kind of just wanted to run some talking points by you guys, honestly. My first one is Greg Maben. He showed out in this game when he was given the chance, and he's been practicing really well. That came straight from the mouth of Kyle Shanahan. And Kyle also said he expects to see Greg Maben have an increased role in this defense. And, if he continues to play solid like he did, I don't see a problem with that, especially with a lot of our secondary just having problems in general with some of their roles as a defensive player. Another thing I wanted to bring up, and this is a big one going around, what is going on with Adrian Colbert? Okay, I know, in case you didn't know, last week all he played was special teams reps. Okay, the excuses there have been, one, his injury, and two, Kyle Shanahan says that it was the lack of practice throughout the week. I don't see the injury as a viable excuse due to the fact that special teams is physically demanding as well, possibly even more physically demanding at times. So I don't see the injury being any sort of excuse for that. But if what Kyle says is that it was due to the lack of practice snaps, then that's what it must be. But you've got to keep that thought in the back of your mind. Is Adrian Colbert being benched? Because honestly, he has not been playing that great football that we expected to see from him. Does that lead the way for DJ Reed to start making some waves in this defense and trying to earn himself a spot too? Shanahan in his presser hinted towards the fact that now that he is healthy, we should see more of him this week. So I think this week will be a good indication as to what the plan with Adrian Colbert is going to be for the future. He got his practice time this week, so we'll see if he gets his starter role back or if he's taking a backseat role to DJ Reed, or if they're just working in and out until they figure out who's going to be the starter there. Another guy that really impressed was Anton Exum. How is he going to fit into this lineup with the secondary beginning to heal up? He was obviously in there because last week we were struggling with injury with Adrian Colbert and Jaquiski Tart. So the secondary was just – obviously you guys know the secondary's been dealing with injury. But after a great game, Exum, you got to wonder if he's going to start making some splash and finding his way into the defense more often too. But as the defense as a whole, I don't know if you guys noticed, but Robert Saleh, as much as we give him some probably deserved crap, it looks like he might be bringing out some new techniques. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I saw a lot more blitzing last week than I've seen since maybe week 1 was the last time I saw some blitzing like that. And even then, I think this might have been our heaviest blitz game. I don't actually have the stats for that one, unfortunately. But just off of my eye, it makes me wonder if Salah's bringing in some new techniques, and hopefully he can get rid of some of the other ones. I know Mike loves to bring this one up, and I hate it too. Defensive linemen in coverage. That doesn't make sense at all. So hopefully that's not going to be seen much more. But those are just some things I wanted to bring up. Uh, I think that some things going on in the chat. We need a top 5 pick, but not another damn tackle. Fair enough. I'd love to see what's going on with the draft. Draft time is one of my favorite parts of the year, but I'm not going to start picking who or what we're going to start drafting because I don't know how this season's going to play out. Mock drafts have us anywhere from what I've seen, because I'm that guy that's already looking at mock drafts. I've seen us having the 2nd overall pick to, I think, 7th overall pick after this last week, and we'll see what happens there. But I don't want to pick anywhere near what any positions that we might be in yet, because I have yet to see how this team is going to play out. CJ Beathard played great. If the defense continues to step up and get healthy, I see no reason why we can't have a manageable season. So it's hard to start going mock draft season until you get more of an idea on where this team is. We're only a quarter of the way through the season, and we've seen promise. If you look at where we were a quarter of the way through the season last year, I think it's no doubt that you have to be a little more pleased. Yeah, it hurts having Jimmy gone, but last year we were still watching Brian Hoyer play football. So, we're always taking those steps forward. This year might not be the year. It might be. We might have some good things going. But, at the end of the day, we are the faithful. We're going to keep supporting. At least I hope you are. But let's see how this game goes against the Cardinals this week, and we'll get a good idea on where this team is as a whole. I hope you enjoyed the podcast this week. Make sure you tune in next week. We are going live every Wednesday at 11 p.m. Eastern Time just to give you the state of the Niners of the week. So I appreciate you guys stopping by, and I'll catch you next week. Stay faithful.